And then they, of course, deny it and say you don't know the whole story, yet they don't tell any story that makes any sense whatsoever. And they just think it's a big joke. They don't seem to give two shits. Then, of course, they're talking about how they're Christian. So I just thought I'd pop on here because I happen to live in the state of Kentucky. And when I see things going down like this in the state of Kentucky, I call it out directly. And I thought maybe that people who live in the pretty blue city of Lexington, Kentucky, might want to know that this kind of business is in their ranks. Even in Georgetown, I'm sure there are people there who wouldn't be very pleased with this kind of behavior. So, heads up, Kentucky, that's what's going on. Just thought you'd know. Again, their business name is Leanne's Local Petals.
Now, my final thoughts is that the unfolding scandals around Lynn's local petrol shop in Georgetown highlights the growing power of social media to bring local controversial in the national spotlight. Now, according to TikTok, the situation stems from an alleged wrong termination of a staff member fired on August 26, 2025, paired with accusation of racial biasness treatment by the shop owners. What might have caused this private workplace dispute has now escalated into a public relation like crisis under the hashtags like petrol gates and even the cancel of lean local petrol shop. Now, what really happened here is that yes, you have the right to fire out this lady. You have all the right because that is your shop, that is your workshop. You had the right to fire out this lady. But the problem is when you start instigating your fellow workmates, fellow workmates, that they need to take care of their property because this lady may come out and steal their property. You see, that's where the problem was in. And there are a lot of people also came out and they were trying to give this situation and telling them that no, this is not the right way to do things. It actually led to local TikTokers canceling these local petals. And there are also other people who came out and gave and went and to that local shop. They tried to give out the misogyny, what is really happening to this lady. Because however much you are trying to mistreat a black person, especially when it comes to black people, you realize that the black forces are always available to protect their their fellow black person. Remember, racial biasness has always been something that has affected majority of black Americans in America, and maybe let's say in the European countries. Like, what do you mean that the black people are not being employed? It is because they don't have shops. They are black. Imagine you're not being employed because you are a black person. They have always have this negative stereotype about a black person. Like, let's say, like, you are a thief, you have bad manners, we are not going to employ you here because you are a black person. We know you are going to make our shops, you're going to make this organization to fall down because you are a black person. Now, that has always been a negative stereotype about black men and women. And that's why you'll find that majority of the workshop, majority of the organizations, they are not employing these people. And if they are being employed, they are being accused, they are being dismissed falsely. Like, take a look at this lady here. Already they have accused her that she's going to steal something from a fellow workshop. Now, I want to also say about the racism as a flashpoint. Like, anytime race is perceived to play a role in workplace dispute, it amplifies outrage. People are no longer willing to quietly accept unfair practices, and even the social media platforms provide the megaphones for exposing them. Now, the TikTok court of opinion also came out whether or not the legal system ever weigh in. Like, TikTok creators have already acted as a judge and even the jury. Like, a wave of viral posts can sink brand reputation faster than any official. Like, let's talk about this investigation. It's already going on, and majority of TikToks are actually coming out and they're saying that we are going to cancel these shop owners because this is not the right step, this is not the right way to fire someone, especially when you try to accuse her or him of false allegation, which it is not going to happen here. Now, there's also a small business vulnerability. Now, independent businesses rely heavily on trust and even the community support. Like once a customer perceive a discrimination or mistreatment, loyalty evaporates. Even a single scandal can threaten survival, especially when amplified online. Now, the scandal around Lynn's petrol shop isn't just about one firing, it is about a broader cultural reckoning. It demonstrates how the community is unwilling to separate businesses from ethics. Like people want accountability, and if they don't see it from the business owner, they'll enforce it through the boycotts and even the social pressure. Now, in short, the controversy is less about flowers and more about fairness. A local shop has become a symbol of national conservation, and how we treat workers, how race still matters in daily interaction, and how accountability now comes from the people, not just the job. Now, I also want to give you this a fine commentary by saying that, in the end, whether legal justification or not, the act of firing someone after they clocked out reinforces the perception of disrespect and mistreatment in time when small businesses thrive on reputation and trust than single decision cost lean local petrol shop its entire community support. Now, and that's how these people are actually boycotting them. And let me tell you something, guys. You also have to know that however much you are doing this in social media, then I'll love to tell you that this phone is actually helpful, and you, when you get mistreated, already just come out and open your phone camera, then start recording it in each and every action these people are doing. Because how are we going to end racial biasness? We're not going to end racial biasness when you go to the authority, because automatically the authority is not going to attend to you fairnessness. Okay, so take a phone, record, post in TikTok, then already your viewers and TikTokers will come out and give you the right decision. Otherwise, what this lady did was the right thing, because I didn't see her fight back, but she was trying to account for, to tell the people that the things that they're doing, the locals are doing, the local people are doing, it is not fairness. Okay, see you in another episode. My name is Golden Boy, and I wish you another night.